Alright, what is up guys? My name is Zep and welcome back to Zep Gaming. Today we're gonna be doing some tutorials for Snapmap. Now, as some of you may know, I've already released a tutorial before on some basics on Snapmap, but I decided not to continue that anymore. I decided to be more specific about the tutorials. Alright, so right now you can see on your screen Electro City. You know, this map has a lot of good stuff in it. One of those are the health and armor stations, and ammo stations actually, that you can find around the facility. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do a tutorial on that. So I have prepared earlier this wonderful grid room. Inside would be a lone health station. So yeah, we're gonna try and reconstruct this step by step. So that's how this tutorial is gonna be. Okay, so first off, we need to arrange the props. I mean, I'm gonna cheat on this one. Just copy this. I mean, you can do the arrangements however you like. In my case, it's something like this. Not a lot of flair, not a lot of pizzazz, but it gets the job done, you know. It kind of makes you want to go, hey, what's in this thing? I want to step in here and see what's what. So, kind of does the job there. So, now we have the rest of the stuff here, which we're gonna be doing one at a time. So, alright, so if you're wondering what are these things on top of the props, that actually tells you that the prop is static. So when the prop is static, it won't accept any outputs or inputs. Because if it's accepting an output and an input, it will be reflected on the network percentage. And you don't want that climbing up way too high to 100%. So if you're putting a lot of props, make sure to set them on static by pressing X on the prop and setting this to static. You know. So as you can see on the description here, the object's inputs and outputs will be disabled and it will not contribute to network limits. So let's just do some of the nodings, and as you can see here, we did use a repeater vitals for the health station. It can be vitals or inventory, you know, for health and armor and ammo. Now this might get a little bit confusing if we're gonna refer just on this noding alone, because you can see here there's a map object, there's a custom event object, and those are actually related to how the health station is activated when you restore the power on a certain part of the facility. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do a health station that is already active. So let's go ahead and try that. So let's start with adding a volume. You can see here, we can add a box trigger and adjust the size. You know, if you set it like this low, it will not be at jump height, and if the player jumps, the effect will wear off. So, you know, it's up to you how to design that. In my case, I want the player to be standing on the platform or on the station if he's gonna heal. So let's not make this usable, and let's make this. Okay, that is unfortunate. Let's make this transparent. There we go. Set it down here. Okay, that's not static. I thought that was static. Okay, so now we're gonna go to our box trigger, press G on entered, and we're gonna select from our flow a repeater. There you go. Start the repeater. Let's just adjust the nodes. I'm a little anal about arranging the nodes because that also makes it a lot easier for me to debug the whole thing. So I hope you'd be like this as well. Anyway, so on entered, start repeater, and the repeater. So let's configure our repeater to repeat infinitely and have a delay between repeats of 0.5. There we go. So every half second, it will do a signal. Now this is where we define our main output. Remember, our main input would be the player walking into this box trigger. Now, what happens after we do so, of course, it should heal our character. So we're gonna do that exactly. So we're gonna put here on our repeater on signal, and then let's add from players and team vitals, and we're gonna add the cream or the strawberry above the cake, the cream beyond the whatever expression that is. Give health. There we go. So now we have a repeater that will repeatedly give health every time he steps in this box trigger. Now the amount of health, default health here is about 100, so let's set this to 5. So right now, our repeater will give 5 health every half second. However, the problem, if we leave it like this, the problem is our player, once you step out, it will still continue the repeater. Because what we want is the player to only heal from here and not outside. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another input from the box trigger, and that is on exited and stop the repeater. Alright, so now we have the basic structure down pat. What about the additional effects like this flying cross over here and the vortex? What you see here is called a container. We're gonna add one right now. So we go to our pickups, scroll down, and there's our container. Just set it up here. And we can press X. And we can select our render model from the properties. So right now it's a diamond box. Let's go select for our health, this one, the cross. So we're also gonna set the RGB values. So set it to 255 for the red cross. Remember, this is a pickup. So for the player not to be able to pick that up, we set our custom filter to any player, or rather any AI, I'm so sorry. So our custom filter is any AI. That means only the AI can actually pick this up, but since the AI cannot actually pick up items, it will stay there, which is good. That is looking closer to this thing over here. So what we're gonna do now is add the effect whenever the player actually steps in or out. So for that, we're gonna add a spawner. There you go. You can actually use the actual effect, but you know, I like using spawners. Spawners are way better doing this. So we have the spawn hazard object here that you can find other spawners. So we can actually press X here and select from our hazards vortex. Alright, so again, custom filter, doesn't matter. Damage will be 0, but we're gonna change the color to red once again, which means we need to change the RGB values to 255, 0, and 0. You can still use the we can still use the color wheel as you can see there, but I'd rather tinker with the RGB values. So the spawner it'll not do anything by itself. So we're gonna add inputs and outputs to the spawner. So we're gonna go back to our on entered here. If I can select it, there you go. On entered, press G on there to bring out our node, spawn hazard, spawn object. There we go. It's underground, so just declip through there. There you go. And on exited, do the same thing except with remove all. There we go. Alright. So finally we put the cherry on top, which is our point light. Just to add a bit of lighting, we are ready to test this, and let's see if it does the same thing. Actually, I would like to have what do you call this? A terminal here that would damage us whenever we use it. So we can use it as many times as we want. You know what? I'm a little frustrated right now. There we go. Also, I almost forgot about the sound effect. So yeah. So for the sound effect, you just need to put this on signaled and then add a 2D speaker. Or if you want a 3D speaker, it doesn't matter. Since it's gonna stop putting out sounds as soon as, you know, you step out of that thing. There we go. For this, we're gonna use the classic power-up sound from our classic SFX, which is, let's just go to our cheat sheet, 38. That's the classic SFX, number 38, get power-up. There we go. Let's modify the volume real quick. Boop! There we go. And yes, so this is the one that we made on tutorial, and this is the one that we made for Electro City. So let's go ahead and damage ourselves. Ooh, 25 health. So we just run in here and we got healed. This is the one that we made for Electro City. I got full heals. Damage myself again. Ow. And again, we're getting full heals with the accompanying sound. Alright, so that's how you make a walk-in health station. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys, and you learned something out of this. You know, if this will serve as an inspiration for you to do your next project, or you know, something that you could implement to your map straight up, do say so in the comments. I would really love to hear about it. So if you have any questions, yeah, comments as well. So leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Snapmap. I'll see you guys soon.